The UAP task force was refused access to a broad crash retrieval program. These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will, non-human.
That's absolutely insane. Whoa, look at that takeoff. Y'all, UFOs everywhere. Literally, as I mentioned before, even when I take a break, they're constantly flying into our airspace. And today we're going to take a look at some raw UFO footage in 4K that shows some seriously weird things in our night sky, as well as NASA cutting the feed on UFOs as people watch them live, and even insane bombshell news coverage that somehow they covered up. I mean, they buried this story. So watch till the end, because you're going to be shocked. Sit back, grab a snack, smash like, and enjoy. We're starting in the farmlands of Belgium, March 9th, 2024, where witnesses went out early morning. This is about 6 a.m. Dew on the grass and a heavy fog in the morning, where they saw this monstrosity. This is what they've been calling a Mothership saucer UFO. Witnesses say they even saw it wobbling before takeoff. You kind of see some of the wobble in the clip, and I find that fascinating because we've talked about this before. Wobbling is something that we've heard many times about flying saucers and UFO in general before they take off. Speaking of saucers, Czech Republic, October 19th, 2023, another saucer video resurfaces. This one has like a weird wobbly effect to it that you're gonna see in the video. The witness says that the saucer itself was spinning. However, when they zoom in, you see how it gets all distorted? I believe this could be one of those weird tech where they say it distorts the camera and the lensing. The red flashing light is also really weird, as it doesn't seem to be moving or wobbling like anything else on the craft. I think it's fascinating, and I don't think I've seen a UFO quite like that. There's also a resurface clip from December 30th, 2023 that makes a lot of sense right now as we have more volcanoes erupting. You can actually see a strange saucer over a volcano, and then it takes off, and then boom, we get some smoke. Absolutely fascinating, and it makes me wonder if it was interacting. What I find interesting about this clip, and what I feel like adds authenticity, is the fact that the cameraman, when the UFO flew up, he jerked up too, like to see like, whoa, what, where'd it go? Where when it's an effect or an after effect, you usually don't see that because there's nothing actually there. So your thought isn't to jerk upward because you didn't see anything, you're adding it in post. So I found that very interesting, and I feel like it adds to the authenticity. Fast forward to 2026 and we jump over to Los Angeles, July 3rd, where witnesses saw these strange lights hovering in the sky. And no, these weren't like fireworks. They were more akin to the Phoenix lights from back in the day. They were in a row, seemingly slightly curved, so one could think if this was a massive craft, maybe it would be circular like a disc, or it could be individual lights. And they're just hovering there. Look at this. What I find really weird is the shifting in some of the colors, and they're not FAA colors, not colors we normally see in the sky. It's just really freaking weird. Now, because the holiday's coming up, the witness started calling around, calling local authorities, seeing if anyone had some type of air show happening in the area, and there shouldn't have been anything up there, which makes the whole thing even weirder. Then there's São Paulo, Brazil, June 28th, 2026, where a witness was sitting in his house looking out the window and started seeing sparkling. And not like a twinkling star in the sky. They said that they saw a bunch of lights sparkling, so they pulled out their phone and started recording, which honestly I would have done the same. They even took the time to go outside and get a better look, and it really is just weird, flickering lights in the sky with no explanation. And I find it strange that, one, this was in June, and two, they don't really give a crap about 4th of July, so they didn't have fireworks going off. This is just weirdness in the sky with, again, no explanation when authorities are contacted. Something's gotta give. Give us some answers. And we get some similar strange lights in Chile, July 3rd, 2026, where witnesses saw these flashing and sparkling lights in the sky. It wasn't quite as drastic as what we saw in Brazil, but it still left watchers baffled. Literally, people observing it were confused. At first, they thought it might have been people coming down in pyrotechnics, but some of the lights started going upward, disappearing, reappearing, and going in directions that, well, not normal for flyers. They were appearing and disappearing and going in directions that pyrotechnic flyers can't go in. So what was that? Meanwhile, over the skies of New Mexico, passengers on a plane saw this strange elongated light craft in the sky. This was baffling and actually scared a few passengers, though it was apparently harmless and just flew by the plane. I don't know how I would feel seeing something mysterious like that so high up in the sky. More power to you for remaining calm. Next, over Palermo, Italy, July 2nd, 2026, witnesses saw a strange craft in the sky that was square in shape, like a recent UFO we covered. However, witnesses say you couldn't catch it as good on camera, but there seemed to be a pulsing in the center. Like the center was its energy source, and the pulse rippled around the whole craft. It was like water ripple, but light instead. It is what the witnesses say they're seeing with their eyes that they're trying to capture with their camera. And I find that weird and fascinating. And the liquid ripple, even though it's in light, just reminds me of Lockheed Martin and their work on living metal. And it makes me wonder where they got that technology from. Heading over to Chile, April 6, 2026, witnesses captured another strange object in the sky. At first, they thought it was an orange tic-tac shaped UFO, but when they pulled out the camera and zoomed in, they saw that it seemingly had like a bump on top and on the bottom. So it wasn't exactly a tic-tac, but it was still very strange. There's also this clip I'm a bit iffy on from Tennessee, May 1st, 2026. Witnesses saw this strange cloud formation and started recording, and the cloud allegedly started moving. Stranger still is a baffling sighting from McKinney, Texas, July 3rd, 2026, where witnesses saw this in the sky, and you can see that they're actually recording through their window. At times it defocuses, which I feel like, again, adds credibility to this video. And if you see, it looks like this MFN UFO is taking something up from the ground. What is it doing? What is it pulling up there? Is it ours? Was it theirs? Was it a probe? How is this being captured clear as day by witnesses and no one's doing anything about it? Again, what was that? And you can see, like I said, a little dirt on the reflection window that they're recording through. So you know they're recording through a window and it's defocusing on that craft. So whatever that is actually out there in the sky, pulling whatever up. What is that? Bro, what is that? And what is it taking from the earth? I would like to know. I pay a lot of money in taxes. I need to know what's getting ripped out from my property, okay? There's a lot going on in space and in our skies. And it's not just that Uranus is farting. UFOs are being seen all over the place, and I've got some incredible sightings for you today. On top of that, we have some crazy news. The New York Post is reporting of a new shocking study that claims that possible hostile alien threats have been detected in the unknown interstellar object that recently entered our solar system. Now, straight from the New York Post, a mysterious intergalactic object could potentially be a hostile alien spacecraft that's slated to attack our planet in November. Attack, like it's just jumping straight to it. According to a controversial new study by a small group of scientists, the consequences, should the hypothesis turn out to be correct, could potentially be dire for humanity. Yeah, I'd say if they're planning on attacking. The researchers wrote an inflammatory paper which was published July 16th to the preprint server RXIV, I don't know what that is, Southwest News Service has recorded. Whoa, this must, they say it might be a comet? Comet 31 Atlas streaks across a dense star field. In this image captured by Gemini North Telescope, Gemini Multi-Object Spectrograph, July 2025. It actually looks really, really cool, even though this is a little scary. Dubbed 31 Atlas or 3I Atlas, the interstellar entity was discovered on July 1st, rocketing toward the sun at more than 130,000 miles per hour, Live Science reported. Less than 24 hours later, it was confirmed to be an interstellar object out of our solar system, with initial observations suggesting it could be a comet that measures up to 50 miles in diameter, larger than Manhattan. However, in the new paper, the trio of researchers suggested that it might be a piece of extraterrestrial spy technology in disguise. One of the researchers, Avi Loeb, a prominent Harvard astrophysicist known for linking extraterrestrial objects to alien life. You guys know who that is. We had him a few times on the channel before, or at least featured him, not had him on the channel. He's a dude that found the rocks or the stones or metal balls, I guess, under in the ocean where a meteor had landed, and it was also interstellar. It's pretty crazy. I like him. I think he's pretty cool. He's pretty smart. Before I make a judgment on this, let's continue. Avi Loeb previously made waves after floating a theory that the 2017 interstellar object Oumuamua could be an artificial recon probe sent by an alien civilization based on its odd shape and acceleration. I will add to what Avi Loeb said here, on top of that, also its trajectory, because it did have a very strange trajectory. And I remember all of that happening and everyone looking at Oumuamua and thinking, yeah, that's not a comet. It's elongated, it's accelerating, it moves and weird turns. No. That was crazy. And if their theory is that this thing that's coming now is a probe, my theory might be that Oumuamua was the probe and they saw that we can't beat them and they're like, let's go get that planet. Or hopefully help us. I'm actually going to go. Let's be more positive. In this study, which he collaborated on with Adam Hibbern and Adam Kroll of the Initiative for Interstellar Studies in London, Loeb postulated that 3I Atlas's trajectory suggests a similarly alien origin. The trio felt the object's speed, which was significantly faster than Oumuamua's and other objects, and the fact that it entered our solar system from a different angle than its predecessors offers various benefits to an extraterrestrial intelligence. Okay. Alright, this is what Loeb wrote in the blog post. I get it. Again, trajectory, like, comets and meteors and asteroids, they're not, like, doing whatever they want. They are not sentient, they're not thinking, they're just flying in one direction in space, vroom, and if they hit something or get pulled by enough gravity, they'll make slight turns and stuff. But these things are moving like they're being controlled. So I get that theory. One benefit is that 3I Atlas will make close approaches to Jupiter, Mars, and Venus, which could allow aliens to stealthily plant spy gadgets there, Loeb wrote. If they're getting that close, why aren't we planning something like an intercept to see what's going on? When the so-called undercover UFO reaches its closest to the sun, the perihelion, in late November, it will be concealed from Earth's view. This could be intentional to avoid detailed observations from Earth-based telescopes when the object is brightest or when gadgets are sent to Earth from that hidden vantage point, Loeb declared. Very, very smart, very good strategic move. If I were an alien and I didn't want to be detected, but come on, yes. If this anomaly is a technological artifact, this could support the dark forest hypothesis, which argues we haven't found signs of extraterrestrial entities because they are remaining undercover to shield themselves from predators or prey. Loeb warns that this could suggest that an attack is likely and would possibly require defensive measures to be undertaken. Now, the thing is, do we have those defensive measures? How fast is this thing going? Look where it's coming from. Look at the image we have of it. We don't even... Is Galactus coming? Is that the Silver Surfer? Sorry, I just watched Fantastic Four. It was fantastic. Go see it. But this is crazy. Yeah, and we haven't even gotten into the UFO sightings. Oh my god. The problem is that 3i Atlas is traveling too fast for an Earth-based spacecraft to intercept it before it exits our solar system. That makes sense, okay. It is therefore impractical for Earthlings to land on 3i Atlas at closest approach by boarding chemical rockets, since our best rockets reach at most a third of that speed, Laura bro. Damn, what if it's an alien, they are fast. And if it's not, what flung that mofo across the universe? Jeez. However, other scientists have thrown cold water on the so-called alien origins of the object, which they believe is a comet. Okay, here we go. So we do have some debunkers. I just saw this article. I'm reading it with you guys. All evidence points to this being an ordinary comet that was ejected from another solar system, just as countless billions of comets have been ejected from our own solar system, added Samantha Lawler, an astronomer at the University of Regina in Canada. Nice. Who studies solar system dynamics, Live Science reported. In fact, even Loeb admitted in his blog that his alien spy probe theory is a bit far-fetched. To quote, by far the most likely outcome will be that 3i Atlas is a completely natural interstellar object, probably a comet. The researchers also warned the public to take the paper, which has not yet been peer-reviewed. Okay, so I was already have my doubts. Take it with a grain of salt. This paper is contingent on a remarkable, but, as we shall show, testable hypothesis, to which the authors do not necessarily ascribe, yet it is certainly worthy of an analysis and a report, they wrote. The hypothesis is an interesting exercise in its own right, and is fun to pursue, which I love, irrespective of its likely validity. However, critics have called the project a mockery of the work of other scientists who have provided plenty of evidence that 3i Atlas is not evidence of an impending close encounter. Which, I mean, I kind of get the critics, but at the same time, you're always gonna have someone that's opposing your opinion anyway, so who cares? Like, yeah, and they're probably right. It probably just is a comment. It doesn't mean that just by questioning that or thinking of another possibility that you're discrediting them or whatever. Avi Loeb even said it might just be a comment, but this is a pretty cool theory. It's a little far-fetched, but it is possible. And it's important to think of all the possibilities. I don't know. To quote, I guess this is one of the complainers. Astronomers all around the world have been thrilled at the arrival of 3i Atlas, collaborating to use advanced telescopes to learn about this visitor. Chris Lintott, an astronomer at the University of Oxford, who helped simulate 3i Atlas's galactic origins, told Life Science. Any suggestion that it's artificial is nonsense on stilts, and is an insult to the exciting work going on to understand this object. Again, I mean, it's not like you have a detailed 4K image. Like, I love what they're doing, and they do know a lot more than all of us, and they're gonna learn more, but you don't know what the fuck it is. Sorry, but like, come on. Let other people, let a brother dream. Damn. Very interesting. But now let's jump into these insane UFO sightings, because I am excited for you guys to see the stuff that I found. Starting with the weird UFO sightings from That Might Be the Case, who posted that this happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma around 10 p.m. June 24th of this year, 2025. They said, I was driving home the other night and saw these lights in the western horizon. I live in this area, so I know it well, and there are no towers over there. If this is a drones, then why are there no standard aviation lights? I've never seen anything with white strobes before. They were all stationary like this for 10 minutes that I sat and filmed. After 10 minutes, I had to keep driving, so I'm not sure how it dissipated. I like that explanation. But they are weird, they do flicker, and I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about this?
I mean, are they doing a drone show?
Then should they call you right back? Real fast.
I found that very interesting, especially the flickering. To me, I felt like it was a large craft that was possibly malfunctioning, hence all the flickers. I don't think they were drones. I mean, but to be fair, I don't know what the hell that was. That was really weird. And what's stranger still is that those aren't the only white lights that are confusing everyone in the sky. The next clip comes from the last underscore ant, who says these are over Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida. They have a great view from their window right above the guitar, and they saw this. Smash like and take a look. Oh, it was interesting, but what I found weirder was the light that was going off and then turned around before disappearing. Very, like I said, strange stuff happening in our skies. And it's these weird white lights either flickering or doing strange maneuvers. And still, there's more, with this next clip coming from No Lettuce 4126, who says they filmed this just outside of Alice Springs. Any ideas what this could be? It happened on July 21st, 2025 at 6:14 p.m. And it showcases this orb of light suddenly disappearing. That's the best way that I can describe it. Y'all share this video and check this out.
It's too bright.
It's so bright. So, Fraser, this light just has come up from the horizon. And it's just disappeared. Again.
Now, the observer claims that it wasn't just sitting there and then disappeared. It arrived abruptly, rising upward, getting bright, and making suspicious movement, which is what prompted them to start recording. By the time they started recording, they caught the tail end in which it disappeared. I believe their story because they're pretty frantic and a little shaken up by it, so I think this might be a really credible anomalous UFO. No, it's not just the UFOs in our skies, they're in space as well, and NASA has been caught slipping, with Dr. Dan posting on Twitter the NASA video that turned millions into UFO believers. Storms below the clouds, a few shooting stars, and then an enormous object glides across Earth's horizon. Still unexplained, still official. Check this out. And if you don't think that's strange enough, we have another anomalous clip. This one actually showing some of the 5 observables. Strange movements, quickness, acceleration. This is one of the craziest videos ever. Featured on the documentary The Beings from Beyond, this next UFO clip showcases a satellite flying across our sky when a UFO decides to come up and inspect it, sees that it's a satellite, and zips away. Check this out. Isn't that insane? You literally see the UFO fly up to the satellite. He's like, oh, what the hell is this? Oh, just a satellite? Okay, whoop, and zips off. Almost like, oh, you're not a threat. And then just leaves. That is what is in our skies. What is in our skies? And that is not the only slip up by NASA. Yes, there's more. Posted by friend of the channel LW Mark UFO. This is a sphere caught on NASA's Space Shuttle Flight 14 STS-51A, footage from November 8th, 1984. Y'all, this thing is literally a strange sphere zipping across. You'll see it come from the top of the camera and then off, zipping off to the right in space. And they have no explanation. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this? And thank you, LW Mark, for slowing it down for us so that we can get a better visual of that UFO. And if those aren't traditional enough for you, NASA has also accidentally uploaded videos of flying saucers, with this next clip coming from Skywatch Signal, aka UAP Watchers on Twitter. NASA footage of a spacecraft. Check out this NASA footage depicting what looks like a traditional flying saucer with dome top and all. Smash like and check this out. That one's actually my favorite. I love me a good old traditional flying saucer UFO. As they say, things were just built better back then, okay? We knew what we were doing and the aliens knew what they were doing. No, but I do think it's a great clip, and I think it's insane that NASA sometimes lets these videos slip and they offer no explanation at all. Sometimes they delete them from the internet and say nothing. Sometimes they let them sit there, and even though they're there and you can see them, NASA still says nothing. NASA, who recently released its images of 3A Atlas after the government reopened. Now, with these images out, some people are pretty pissed because they're saying amateur photographers can capture better pictures of Jupiter, Saturn, and even 3A Atlas themselves. Why are they giving us this blurry mess? And it makes people question what's really going on at NASA. And so does this next UFO sighting. A large triangular craft was seemingly caught on a NASA live feed from the ISS looking out into space. You see this large craft traverse through the frame and then suddenly NASA cuts the feed. What's going on, NASA? Take a look.
Work volume, we're going to have the UV lights running for decon, and we don't want you entering that work volume while it's still in work.
Absolutely. I will not do anything inside the work volume. There you go. Thanks for the heads up.
Excellent config. You're very welcome. And just to kind of smooth things over when we do come back, KU, you'll be on space to ground 3 for your ops today with Shankini.
Agree with Shankini. Thanks.
Not only was that thing fascinating, but it was massive. And when you take into consideration the images from the amateur photographers of 3A Atlas with those points that seem like it's some type of geometric shape, it really makes you wonder if maybe Avi Loeb was correct in these probes coming from 3A Atlas, and maybe NASA is truly trying to cover something up in front of all of our eyes. Speaking of triangular shaped crafts, we also have a fantastic and long clip of a fully functioning TR-3B. Very much akin to the UFO craft that we saw from YouTuber the Gamera Obscura in 2023, we're going to see a TR-3B not just rotating, but a full extended clip of it fully functioning and another clip showing off its rotation. It's absolutely wild. This comes from SHZCP, who claims it is the original recording of a Treb-like object in January of 2002. It occurred on the Isle of Wight, England, and as I said earlier, it is fascinating. Smash like and take a look. absolutely remarkable. Honestly, I love this clip because I remember when we first checked out Obscura's video, I thought I'd seen a video very similar to this years ago, and it may have been this one. What's crazy is that it may have been another one, and there just may be a ton of lost media that features UFO sightings like this, so clear and so crisp, and clearly rotating. I am in awe